free offering for pretty much everything. And then recently you moved to, for new subscribers, it's going to be all paid, but varying prices with ads, right? That's the basic strategy moving forward.
Yep. Yeah.
So how do you think Peacock in particular is positioned given all of the inputs from the consumers that we just saw? And then when you think of NBC's distribution, NBC Universal's distribution strategy writ large across all the properties that you're offering, how do you feel like the company is situated with regards to this kind of very complex set of points of view that the consumers are bringing to the table?
Yeah, I think NBC Universal is in a really sort of unique and really good position. When I think about those pages and those insights that you just threw up on the screen, what's clear, I think, is that consumers still really want access to professionally produced content, but the distribution model has changed, right? So for us, our sort of mandate or our goal is to be as widely distributed as possible on the platforms that consumers are watching TV on. And for us, I think we have all the pieces, right? We have a very healthy, scaled, traditional pay TV ecosystem that we still distribute our content on and still value those partnerships and relationships. There's a lot of people watching content on that platform. But for folks who are interested in watching in a bit of a different way, more on demand, we have a direct-to-consumer offer. And Peacock is, I think, really positioned because we have this sort of dual revenue model where there's a subscription fee, but also an ad fee. And I think Peacock's thriving because and you're seeing some of our peers and contemporaries sort of follow suit now with the ad-supported model. And I think that's really largely driven by, in order to sort of sustain the premium content model, the dual revenue model, I think, is really where we need to be. And then lastly, for folks that just want to lean back, sort of more casual experience, we have a FAST and AVOD business, right? And I think for us, that's really interesting because now we have content getting a second, third, and fourth window behind its initial release. So, again, I think we're really in a good position. And I think, we've got a lot of the great pieces, and now we're kind of pulling it all together with these great distribution partners and platforms that we're working with.
Philippe, you're the other publisher on this panel here, and unlike NBC Universal, which started basically with one set of linear properties that they kind of built everything out from, you've started actually with an AVOD property in Crackle, and then really built around that. I'm interested, and I've actually talked to you and your CEO about this in the past, but and I know that some of it is opportunistic, but realistically, when you talk about the stack that you have, from everything from Crackle to Redbox, to everything and the TVOD that you have in between, how do you see your stack? How do you talk about your stack? And then how do you see it positioned in the same ecosystem that Matt was just talking about, where the consumers have a kind of really widely varied set of inputs based on a monthly basis?
Yeah, I think the way we talk about it is really all those consumer touch points that we have, and providing viewers options to watch content in many different ways, different formats, different times, at different prices as well, so that they can choose when and where to watch Avatar, for example. It will come soon on our DVD rental business, and then on our TVOD platform, and then AVOD will be much later. But we want to serve especially value-conscious consumers. We're not in the SVOD business. That's actually the only model probably that we don't have today.
But you sell to the SVOD players.
So we do, all our content, because we have a studio business, we have a movie and TV distribution business, and we have our own platforms, obviously consumer-facing platforms. We have, as you said, AVOD platforms. But Redbox is really interesting because it brought us at once, additional channels like FAST. We have a FAST platform with over 160 channels, both ours and third-party channels. And TVOD, which is really a way to provide consumers an early peek at content, right, before it gets to SVOD even platforms. And it's a great way to attract consumers too, because they see the amazing.
So that's ad-free. You buy the film itself, kind of traditional model.
But interestingly, for example, on this one, we may have some movies where we have both AVOD and TVOD rights, and we offer both options to consumers. And that's what it actually increases the TVOD rentals, because consumers can actually sample the content on the AVOD side. They have to commit right away and buy the movie, and then as they like it, they actually switch and say, all right, let's buy it, and kill the ads for the next hour or so. And then of course the Redbox kiosks. A lot of people were wondering, well, why would you want to rent DVDs these days? And I would say on top of serving certain communities of viewers who need that format.
Tens of millions of homes.
No,
Yes.
I mean, we're renting out millions of DVDs every month, which is crazy. It is an amazing source of first data because we have all these registered users. They got to swipe their credit card. We've got 40 million members in our perks program. It is obviously it has 34,000 locations around the country, so relationship with all major retailers, which opens great opportunities on the ad side as well, because now we can start building 360 programs with them. And then the actual screens that we have on those kiosks, in addition to the screens people interact with, added TVs on top of the kiosks.
Yeah,
And
it's funny. I was going through your notes to me before this panel, and you had digital out of home, DOOH.
Right. So we're in the
which, by the way, is not an acronym I knew. I thought you were just like pulling a Homer Simpson and saying nope, but you weren't. You were saying digital out of home.
The fastest growing business right now, right, in the ad business. So digital out of home and retail media networks are really, and the kiosks are really at the intersection of both. So
because people are going back out, they're leaving their homes and they're going back out into the world after a lockdown. And so digital out of home advertising is really exploding.